Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. We're here with Cape Girardeau School Superintendent Dr. Neil Glass. Dr. Glass, welcome.
Great to be here.
Very good to see you. You know, there's so many things that we could talk about with the Cape Public Schools. As we were talking before, not enough time to really talk about the great things that are happening in the school district.
Absolutely.
I've heard you speak a few times at some different events, and I know the people. You always talk about the people in the district that are so important to the way that the district thrives.
And I agree with that. I say it time and time again. I have some of the best faculty and staff in Southeast Missouri, and I truly do mean that. My administration and my faculty and staff have worked hard for the past couple of years, especially, going through the pandemic and trying to maintain the school system in a good order. Making sure that we deliver education to our kids, because that's first and foremost, and we want to make sure that delivery continues, and they've done a tremendous job. We got out and we started feeding kids as soon as we let out for the COVID. We started feeding kids on a daily basis. We had personnel going door to door, making sure kids were taken care of, that their nutritional needs were met, but also their educational needs. And we had administrators do that, we had faculty do that, we had staff do that, volunteer their time, come in, cook the meals, bag the meals. We had other volunteers from the community. And as a superintendent, just sitting back and watching all this transpire, just makes one proud that, we've got a lot of great people with a heart in the right place.
Yeah, I can imagine, the best laid plans are there, then all of a sudden here comes March 2020. And just flips the script, and
the floor just falls out from underneath you, and you're scrambling saying, what do we do? Everything that we're used to doing, educating kids in this manner, is gone right now, and we're scrambling to try to figure it out.
What have you learned through that process?
Not take anything for granted,
yeah.
That every day is a blessing, but that we're resilient and that we can fight and we can persevere and we can push through this collectively. We need one another in order to survive and to be the best that we can be. We can't operate in a silo or on an island. We have to be together, and I think we did that. We demonstrated that to this community, that we can come together even in adverse situations and pull together and be successful.
And I know you've pointed out many times the importance of continuing to educate the kids,
right?
And not abandoning them to the degree that they have, they're at home doing nothing, but still learning in some capacity.
And it wasn't ideal. It's not an ideal situation. We weren't ready and prepared to deliver a purely online curriculum, but the faculty came up with some amazing curriculum and delivery because of that. So you ask what came about that? What lessons did we learn? Is that we need to continue to develop our online curriculum in case anything like this were to happen in the future. But we had some very creative faculty and staff deliver some curriculum and engage with our students throughout this whole pandemic, and it was just really, really neat to watch.
I will say on a personal note, my daughter's special needs, and we made the decision not to send her last year, and your staff came to our house, made sure that she was getting her education and her therapies, and I know that happened all across the school district. So, to be commended for continuing the education.
Again, I got a great staff, and they did that across the board. I've heard a lot of stories like that, them going above and beyond, and they really do care about the kids like they're their own.
Well, again, a lot of highlights, and I know we're not going to hit every one of them.
Sure.
But let's talk about Olivia Carter. The 2021 Counselor of the Year?
National Counselor. So you think of all the districts just in this state, there's over 500 school districts just in the state, but also on a nationwide perspective. How many counselors are out there, and to be selected here in little old Cape Girardeau, be selected as the National Counselor of the Year speaks volumes to Olivia, to Jefferson Elementary, and to Cape Girardeau Public School District. I mean, that is just an unbelievable honor to be recognized for that, and it's well deserved, because she goes, just like all my faculty and staff, goes above and beyond for our students.
So what was the process for the nomination, and how did she ultimately find out that she won?
Well, you know, it is a process, and it starts with the Regional Counselor of the Year.
Okay.
And then it progresses into the State Counselor of the Year. And then you think, hey, maybe there's a chance, you know? And so she goes through this long interview process and submits some written documentation. And then we waited. And, you know, we were good. We were prepared to say, you know, we're proud of you. You know, you're a nominee, you know, good job. But lo and behold, she wins it. She wins the National Counselor of the Year, and it's just phenomenal. And we couldn't be happier. The kids threw a parade, and there was a homecoming, and it was just an awesome event. And of course, she's now been on a little tour, being National Counselor of the Year, where she gets to go out and visit other school districts and listen to what they're doing. That's kind of innovative and special, that she can bring back to our school district, that really strengthens what we're doing. And so that's been a very valuable resource for us.
Yeah, you don't think about that. I mean, the fact that she's not just winning and being done, but the education on her end grows, and you guys benefit obviously because of that.
Yeah, her professional growth is just taken off, and we're reaping the benefits of that, because she brings all that back to Cape Girardeau Public Schools, teaches other counselors that are here on staff, and so we're taking off with it.
I've seen the videos of the high fives when kids come in school, and the spirit is just, it seems like it's at a new level in the school district.
It's contagious. You know, we had faculty members that developed personalized fist bumps and high fives and claps and things of that nature. But yeah, you know, that's one thing. We want these kids to know that they're loved and they're welcome and they're safe in our schools. And that's what, you know, of course, Olivia preaches every day. And, you know, kids are going to screw up. When they screw up, we get them right back into the fold and say, it'll be okay. We all make mistakes, but when we fail, we're going to fail forward, all right?
And I mean, personalizing, yes, like your snow cancellation videos.
We like to have a little fun too while we're at it. I tell you what, Randy McWilson, who is a product of Southeast Missouri State University, has done a tremendous job with those. I can't take credit. All I got to do is show up. And really, all I got to do is give him an idea of, hey, Randy, I'm thinking about this. And he says, I got it. And he'll write the script, and he'll do behind the scenes, and he'll tell me what kind of outfits to wear, and that's a lot of fun. And you know, our faculty and staff and students and even the community, they ask me about it all the time. They said, you know, when's the next one coming out? I say one a year, because there is a lot of work that goes behind all that.
Yeah, but you know that with you doing that allows the fun to trickle down.
Absolutely.
You know, that when they see you
it really
getting up in a wig or whatnot, it says, hey, we're here to learn, but to have fun.
Yeah, it says it's okay to have fun, right? We want to have fun in whatever we do, even if it's work. You know, we want to have fun while we're doing it. If you're having fun while you're doing it, and you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life, right?
Exactly, that's right.
So that's what we're all about.
Do you have a favorite one that you've done? Favorite video that you've done?
You know, I got to go back to the original Ice Ice Baby. You know, that's what kicked it off. But I tell you what, we got one in the hopper this year that's could give it a run for its money.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we hope we'll see it. I know you don't want to have to cancel school, but if
you're
going to do it, may as well do it.
It'll be in the hopper
with some fun.
Right.
Some other programs that I know are very valuable for the Cape School District. You've got the gaming club. You know, I'm not a gamer, but it is a popular thing that's happening. You know, college scholarships for gaming, and you guys are thriving there. It's incredible.
Yeah, we are, and you know, we're one of the first teams in Southeast Missouri right now, and I owe that to my faculty and staff as well. They presented this concept to me, but it's been phenomenal to watch these kids. You know, these are kids that are not connected in other areas of school. You know, this is what really drives them, and they thrive in this environment. Did you know that last year's, I believe it was last year's or maybe 2019, World Championships in gaming had more spectators than the Super Bowl?
I had no idea.
We're talking 100 million spectators for a game. That's how powerful this is right now to these kids, and it's going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to see more of that. Esports is for real, and it's here to stay.
I've toured the esports club facility on campus at Southeast here,
right.
and it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing play-by-play of it. They're, you know, so and I think I saw you had a student that finished 3rd nationally.
Yeah,
I believe.
Our kids are doing extremely well in this. Yeah, and we got 3rd nationally, and they're competing in regional events and making progress there, and they're on the leaderboard every time. I watched the national event, and I was just engaged because you can watch it virtually. And,
right.
and again, I'm not a gamer like you said.
Yeah.
But I got engaged with it. You know, it was like, come on. I had no idea what they were even doing. You know, they were doing twists and turns. I couldn't tell how you could score points, but I knew that we were right there neck and neck, and it was exciting to watch.
It's those types of things too. You know, you got to embrace because then you get stagnant. You know,
absolutely.
And you see that there's obviously a huge student population that is engaged in this. So why not facilitate that for them?
And it can also lead to a career. It is a career pathway. I mean, military, from what I understand, is looking for these gamers because of the way they control the game and you know the hand-eye coordination and all that. You know, with the drones, unmanned aircraft,
sure.
and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of AI, artificial intelligence that goes along with it. So there's a lot of career paths that come out of the gaming, graphics designs, you know, the list goes on and on. I call them America 2.0,
mm-hmm.
you know, which I've heard from investment gurus. You know, we're moving away from America 1.0 to America 2.0, and it's artificial intelligence, it's robotics, you know, it's the graphics and that type of thing. That's just makes your head spin when you stop and think about it.
You know, when you have trouble finding something online or your computer's not working, you can ask your 8-year-old to fix it.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's natural for them. It's their world.
It is.
And us as educators, especially the older educators, we're scrambling to try to just facilitate, you know, what they learn in school and through these gaming clubs.
A couple other things before we have to let you go. The Air Force JROTC program, I know that is a program that is in 2019, 2020, Outstanding Organization Award went to them. Again, another way to, you know, instill citizenship, service. You mentioned the COVID service, and they did a bunch of COVID service.
They did. I think last year they performed over 800 service hours, community service hours to Cape Girardeau and surrounding regions. Colonel Gooden has done a phenomenal job with those cadets. We're looking to grow that program, even develop some cross-town agreements with other area school districts. So that's exciting, up and coming, but man, they're doing some great things.
So we have about a minute left. What do you see on the horizon? What are you excited about as you get through the rest of this school year and next year and a couple years to come?
Right. Well, we got some great things coming. I mean, you know, we're going to continue with the gaming. We're going to continue with robotics, which we didn't even touch on. But we've got a robotics club that's been outstanding. Developing career pathways. When I sit in chamber meetings or I sit in magnet meetings, I hear business and industry saying we need workers. We're having worker shortages and whatnot, and we want to be a tool for some of those businesses. So that's on the horizon, that we can form more partnerships with SEMO, we can form more partnerships with business and industry, the chamber. So developing career pathways for our kids here at home and get them hooked on Cape Girardeau and living here and staying here.
Keeping them in Cape Girardeau.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing fantastic work. I know it's not been easy.
It hasn't.
And everyone has their opinions about the way that things are going or are not going. So congratulations and thank you for being here today with us.
Mike, thank you very much.
You bet. We've been talking with Cape Girardeau School Superintendent Dr. Neil Glass. After the break, author and journalist Mark Bliss is here with his new book, Foul Rising. That's next on Cape Chronicle.
This National Science Foundation ICAR Themes Grant is a very prestigious one, and it's very important. This device that we are now currently in the phase of development, it provides an better and enhanced opportunity for treatment of cancer cells, tumors. It also provides, it has the potential to provide better outcomes for pain medications. We have involved several students over the past 10-12 years in this project. Right now, the 8 students are involved in this research, and they are getting their training in the areas of nanotechnology, material science, and biomedical engineering. Most of them, quite a few of them, are going for the med schools, graduate schools, and some of them are going in the industries.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hold it up. Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. If you're a newspaper reader, you'll remember our next guest, Mark Bliss. Mark is a journalist, magazine editor, and now author of Foul Rising. Mark, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Very good to see you, and I'll hold up the book, Foul Rising. So I know you spent many years at the Southeast Missourian.
Over 30, two different stints.
Over 30 years.
Yeah. And then I went to Southeast Health in the marketing department for 8 years, and then back like 4 years at the Missourian before I retired in November of 2019.
So how did journalism change over that stretch of 30 years?
Tremendously. When I started at the Missourian, we were an afternoon newspaper. A lot of people probably forgot we were an afternoon newspaper. And that was before Gary Russ bought the paper. We had many more reporters at that time. Mm-hmm. Newspapers over the years have had to learn to manage with less staff than
Sure.
they used to. But obviously, technology has changed dramatically. I start out typing on a typewriter, if you can imagine.
What is that?
Yeah, and you had a copy desk, and where people sat around like a horseshoe desk. And then we went through our first computer system, and I don't know how many computer systems we went through before I retired. And of course, we went from film cameras to digital cameras. Mm-hmm. We used to have a dark room, mm-hmm. And I can remember going in the dark room and processing film and that sort of thing too, because some of the reporters we'd also take photos at times. So a lot of different things. So
did you cover all beats while you were there? Probably,
yeah. I covered crime, education, schools. My big beat probably was city government.
Okay.
I figure I've covered virtually every mayor in Cape Girardeau since Howard took, which was decades ago, off and on, but so I probably sat through, before I retired, I think I told Mayor Bob Fox that I probably had sat through more city council meetings than any other single resident of Cape Girardeau. I don't know if that qualifies me as a government expert, but I did sit through a lot of meetings and always enjoyed covering local government, and of course then I covered some state government things and congressional things and that kind of thing too.
So city council might be in your future.
Yeah, I don't know.
What drew you into that field at the beginning?
At the time, I'm a product of Southeast Missouri State University. They were just starting their journalism program. Actually, it was kind of called, I believe, mass communications program. And at that time, in the 70s, we had Watergate. It was a highlight of investigative reporting, and it just appealed to me. I always liked to write. When I was a kid, I remember about 5 years old, with lined paper, I wrote a little Western and everything. And I always liked to write, I always liked to read too. My mom would take my sister and I to public library every Saturday to pick out books. And so that was just reading was just a natural thing for me. And I still love to read. So I like to read mysteries. But anyway, yeah, so I thought it's kind of like a calling, I think, when you get into journalism. And I just enjoy doing it. I'm a naturally inquisitive person, and I still today, even though I'm retired, if I get in a conversation with someone, I'll probably ask a lot of questions because that's just what I do.
So you don't like this side of it, do you?
No.
You don't like being asked the questions.
I like to ask the questions. That's right. That's
well,
right.
It's a service to the community too. You know, you're relaying the facts to the citizens of Cape Girardeau and the surrounding area.
And that's changed a lot over the years. As you can imagine, you know, when I first started in journalism, you didn't have 24-hour cable news channels. You didn't have the social media you have today, and the Facebooks and the news and the Yahoo News, and there's so many more sites for news now. And so you had more time years ago when you were doing a story, you know, it wasn't going to come out till the next day's paper. So you had a chance to get all the information before you wrote the story. Now you kind of you have some information, but you want to get something out online or whatever that say an accident happened. You don't know whether someone was injured or not, but you're getting out a little bit of information at a time. So but again, it's still, I loved covering news in Cape Girardeau. I'm originally from St. Louis County, and I moved down here, went to school down here, ended up, you know, making Cape Girardeau my home, raised 2 daughters here, and just really love the town.
Well, let's talk about this in our final few minutes here. Your love for writing obviously makes this a passion that has come to life. So tell us about Foul Rising.
Well, I kind of had a little bit of the idea of the plot while I was still working at the Missourian, and it kind of it would just go through my mind. I'd think about it at different times, and I wanted to write a mystery. As like I said, I like reading mysteries, but I wanted to set it in a fictional town, but like Cape Girardeau, with a flood wall. And this particular book, while it deals with a murder, it deals with the issue of a flood wall and flooding. And over the years, one of the things I covered, you talked about beats, was I covered numerous Mississippi River floods. Covered it on the Missouri side and on the Illinois side. And I at one point interviewed a professor, I believe up in St. Louis area, who was talking about how all these flood walls have only made our flooding worse. And so that kind of interested me. So that was kind of all in the back of my mind, and then I worked a mystery and a murder into that. But really that was the nut of it all. That's what really got me interested in it. And I mean, my characters, you know, it's fictional, but obviously I draw upon people I've met in real life and different characteristics, and of course, you know, the heroes of the book, so to speak, are 2 newspaper reporters, and so you know, I put in a lot about newspaper reporting in a smaller community, and kind of try to work that in, because I think the more realistic you can make it, the better. And ultimately, you have to kind of write about what you know about. And so there's a lot of kernels of truth in all that. So
fictional, but in some ways mirrors experiences that you have seen over the years.
Right.
Where do we find the book?
It's available on Amazon and Kindle.
Okay.
It's also for sale at the Glenn House.
Okay.
Have had a number of book signings down there and have a good partnership with them. And also you can, you know, reach me on Facebook, Facebook Messenger me, and you know, I'll get you a copy and even sign it and everything. So
this came out in?
It came out in, well, it came out toward the fall of, what's it, 2020.
2020.
Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. It came out in the spring of this year.
Okay.
I started working on it in 2020.
Okay.
But then the pandemic occurred.
Okay.
And then once I wrote it, then I spent months editing it and re-editing it and making some changes in the plot. And then with the pandemic, things kind of just slowed down. And so it took a while for me, but yeah, it was spring of this year when I released it, March of this year.
Fantastic. Well, I wish we had more time to dive in. I know you have another one maybe in the works.
Yes, I'm working on one now. Hope to release it next year.
Okay. And again, tell us where we can find the book.
Okay, on Amazon and Kindle, and also there are copies available at the Glen House in downtown Cape Girardeau.
All right. And you'll sign away if they
I
bring it your
will.
direction.
I'll be happy to.
All right. Well, Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a fabulous career with the Southeast Missourian and being a huge impact on our area and for bringing us this. It's an exciting new adventure for you. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you to both of our guests, and thank you for joining us for Cape Chronicle. The program is a collaboration among the Department of Mass Communications of Southeast Missouri State University, the City of Cape Girardeau, and River Radio. Our producer is Nicolette Brennan. Our executive producer is Dr. Jim Dufek. I'm your host, Mike Renick. Thank you for watching.